Landlord!
One and two,
Cable guy!
eternally.
It's the police. Open up.
Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Hey, nacho lovers, get a massive order of nachos Bel Grande for just 99 cents when you buy a large drink. That's over $1 off. Better hurry.
Is there a case against Patsy Ramsey? Find out tonight at 10.
The only unbeaten team in the NFL, the Denver Broncos, shutting out the San Diego Chargers 20-0 here at Sold Out Mile High Stadium. Kevin Harlan, Sam Weich. Does San Diego have a chance in the second half?
Well, they don't have a chance if Ryan Leaf plays the way he's playing now. He's missing wide open receivers. He's not throwing the ball to the right guy. He's got a long way to go.
Well, the big news here in Denver, in fact, the state of Colorado this week, was the overwhelming vote for the stadium. 57% to 43%. They'll break ground next year. It'll be finished in the year 2001. They'll build it next to Mile High Stadium in the parking lot of McNichols Sports Arena. Owner Pat Bowlen of the Broncos.
Ultimately, this is a great day for this franchise and for the Rocky Mountain region. And you have my promise that we will build the finest stadium on budget, on time, and open in 2001.
And the one thing about Bowlen getting this vote and this approval is that had he not, he probably would have sold the team, and thus Mike Shanahan would have become a free agent coach, as Kenny Bynum takes the opening kickoffs, and flags are all over the field as Bynum works to the 20-yard line. There is a contract clause with Mike Shanahan that if Bowlen was no longer the owner, that he could leave. And Bowlen said that if he didn't get the new stadium, he would probably have to sell the team.
Yeah, he didn't say he would move the team, but he would have to sell the team, and that would have kicked in that clause for Mike Shanahan to go somewhere else.
Holding 51 during the return. It's a 10-yard penalty, first down.
And through the first two quarters, here are the numbers.
Well, there's the big one, of course, right there. They've dominated. The defense has not been able to do it. 33 yards against 34. Denver, without this starting quarterback, has dominated this game.
Markham back outside the 10. It's 1st and 10 for Leaf, and the handoff goes to Natron Means. And then he was brought down by Trevor Price on a gain of 5. That might be the one thing that San Diego can do, is just power drive it with Means up the middle.
Well, Kevin, I think that's what they have to do. Ryan Leaf is not playing very well. Now, he's had a string of tough days, going back to the Kansas City ball game where he was 1 for 15, and then 4 interceptions against the New York Giants. He hasn't played well, but this was a bye week the past week. They went back to the mini camp, back to the fundamentals, simplified everything, but it hasn't shown up on the field today.
On the 16, 2nd down 5. Leaf looking for his second option. First from the pocket, chased by Neil Smith, and throws high and wide of his intended receiver, Brian Still.
You know, as a former quarterback coach, here's the first impression I get of this Ryan Leaf. He's indecisive. When I played for Bill Walsh and coached with Bill Walsh, he used to use the word all the time. Be decisive in what you're going to do. Know your receiver when you've got him, step into that throw and be decisive in your throw. But he's hesitating. He's going to an alternate receiver, and when he does, that alternate receiver is late, or he's going late to him, so the alternate receiver's not there.
He's hit tight ends, he's hit running backs, but he is 0 of 9 throwing to wide receivers today. 3rd and 5. Here comes the blitz from Pedrez. Leaf was spun out of control and throws an incomplete pass. Glenn Cedrez, taking the place of the departed free agent Alan Aldridge, comes flying up the middle and gets it Leaf.
See Cedrez coming right straight up the middle. Maybe the best play of the day for Ryan Leaf. Now watch what happens right here. He's got no chance. But watch him get rid of the ball. Pure strength right here. He gets it far enough downfield in the direction of a receiver to save the sack.
That says it all when that's his best play as a quarterback in this game.
Well, that's it. Incomplete pass is your best play? I guess so.
6 3-and-outs for San Diego. This is their 7th punt of the afternoon in 7 possessions. Gordon lets it bounce in front. Another Denver bounce. I think every bounce has gone to the Broncos on the punts today, and Bennett continues with a horrible afternoon.
Well, I tell you, the reason is that Bennett, when he goes to, he's got a surgery on his left knee. The ball is not turning over. That's why it's bouncing backwards.
right, captains, we're going to have a coin toss now. Listen, the team will call it in the air. We want a good, clean game. We're all professionals here. Does anyone have change for $1?
What?
Want to get away? Now you can with Southwest Airlines Friends Fly Free. Just buy a round-trip full-fare ticket and a friend flies free.
You are now free to move about the country.
The Mitsubishi Montero Sport. Rugged styling, 3-liter V6, well equipped with $24,950.
I haven't even started my shopping.
Who's ready for dessert? I can't eat another bite.
I'm always ready. These are the days. Fetzer days. Enjoy the wine.
When you abuse your engine the way taxi drivers do, you need all the protection you can get. That's why New York's Broadway Taxi Company uses Kestrel GTX. Kestrel GTX. Drive hard.
Ted Danson's a doctor with attitude in the best new comedy of the year.
I'm here to save your life, you big meatball.
And all new Becker on CBS Outtake Monday.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Back at Mile High Stadium in Denver, and the Broncos, Sam White with some excellent field position as they talk with young Trevor Price on the sideline. He's had another great game for the defense of the Broncos. 1st and 10 from the 49. Play action. Here comes Seau, and Brister gets it away, and it's incomplete. And Brister started and has played the majority of the game because in pregame warmups, John Elway strained a rib muscle. And he is now in street clothes and out for the day, and we don't know how long after today.
Well, you know, we talked to Mike Shanahan yesterday, and we talked about the halfway point, where he thought he was and so forth. He says, you know, it's not where you are at the halfway, it's how you finish. And finish is a key word in sports to me. It's how you finish a game, how you finish off a game plan, how you finish off a play. And they've got to finish this game, get out of this thing as healthy as they can, and get ready to see what the status of John Elway is going to be for the finishing of this season.
2nd and 10, Davis running outside, flags are thrown, and Davis got a quick spurt and got inside the San Diego 45. Tackle made on the play by Greg Jackson, the safety. This is a flag against the Broncos.
This is what Mike Shanahan does not want Denver to start to get a little sloppy, start to get comfortable with the game too early. Finish the ball game.
Number 84, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Mike Shanahan, very demanding coach. He's got the guys out of pads now. This is the second half of the season. They don't put the pads on and hit. They practice at full game speed. I thought that was it struck me when he said it yesterday when we were talking to him. He says, I don't want the guys to go out there and hit each other as much, but I want them to practice at full game speed and know how fast the game is moving so they're ready on Sunday.
Worried about speed and explosion. 2nd down and 20 with the penalty, and Brister with the short drop, quick throw, bobbled, and finally reeled in by wide receiver Rod Smith. He picks up 6. The interesting testament, I think, to what they do here in Denver, and in particular Shanahan. They've lost just one coach since he came here in January of 1995, and that guy went to the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, you know, part of the reason is, number one, they've got a great situation here. He signs his position coaches to 3-year contracts, something that, boy, I wish I could have done when I was coaching every team around the league. Head coach would like to do that with his position coaches. It gives them security. Plus the fact that he says, look, if I've got a good coach, nobody's going to outbid us for that coach. We'll pay to keep the good coaches. One of them, Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, who probably is calling some of these plays along the way. Now, Mike Shanahan calls them, but he doesn't mind handing it off to that guy right there, Gary Kubiak.
There's an injury timeout for the Chargers, Marco Coleman.
Mitsubishi Galant. Totally new styling, nicely equipped at $17,990.
Turn the pizza around. It's stuffed crust. You eat it backwards. Carry on.
In case you forgot, you're supposed to eat stuffed crust backwards. With a ring of cheese baked right into the crust, it's the most fun you can have with the pizza. Right now, a large one topping is only $9.99. Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
Would you like to work here? I'm not housebroken.
Temple City, over 40 basketball. It's fantastic.
Here's the 90s way to trim a beard. The 1890s. Today, there's the new Norelco Beard and Mustache Trimmer. With 9 adjustable settings, Norelco gives you the look you want. Norelco. Put it to the test.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of the Super Bowl. Mitsubishi, the all-new 1999 Galant, and by Pizza Hut, home of the stuffed crust pizza, the most fun you can have with a pizza.
What beautiful scenics from our aerial cameras here this afternoon. Marco Coleman is okay, walked off under his own power. Chris Mims takes his place at left defensive end. Denver facing 3rd and 14. They've got to get to the San Diego 39. Great time for Brister, who throws a pass incomplete, looking for the twirling Shannon Sharp. Brister was hit hard. Broncos can't convert, and they've got to punt the ball after scoring on their last 4 possessions.
I'm a little surprised they haven't started to feature Terrell Davis a little bit. You know, he's on pace for that big year. This is the kind of a ball game when you've got control of it that you'd like to use up the clock and B, pound away with that running game. But he's only got 15 rushes for 56 yards today. Unusual in these circumstances, but they got Bubby Brister. Maybe they feel like they got to get this guy ready for next week as well.
Low snap to Ruin, who gets it high, and Latario Rashal will let it bounce into the end zone. San Diego will take over at their own 20. 53-yard punt by Ruin in this thin air of Denver, Colorado. It is chilly but pleasant, especially if you're a Bronco fan. Timeout.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight cancer and kidney failure by inducing the body to produce blood cells. Chemotherapy and anemia patients are gaining new strength. Helping to grow blood cells helped Amgen become the world's largest biotech company. Where do you learn about companies with such pioneering spirit? Exactly. NASDAQ Amex, the market of markets.
French, German.
You're the genius behind the new Speak in a Week foreign language CDs. But can you say global distribution? You know linguistics, not logistics. Entree UPS. The same people you rely on here clear customs electronically and deliver to over 200 countries worldwide. Soon orders are rolling in and everyone's speaking your language.
Bonjour. Ma chérie, au revoir.
UPS, moving at the speed of business.
So you want some lingerie for your wife. What about cup size?
Oh, she's way bigger than that. The moment something was slipped into his bag.
Mr. Zavitz may have passed sensitive materials to you.
Robert Clayton Dean became a target.
Why are they after me? You have something they want!
Produced by Jerry Bruckheimer.
Get the cat.
What's the cat's name?
Babe.
Directed by Tony Scott.
Come here, baby. Baby, come here.
Will Smith, Gene Hackman, enemy of the state.
You certainly carjacked a really nice car.
Rated R starts Friday, November 20th.
My name is Anthony. I make it to midfield and back in 9.7 seconds. My friends think I'm lucky. I just think I'm fast.
In Green Bay, they've got the Cheeseheads. In Kansas City, the Arrowheads. And here in Denver, the Horseheads. And they're having fun.
And when they get home, they're going to hear about it on television.
That's right.
And you made fun of them, too, and I'm telling you.
You just don't want to wake up next to a Horsehead. First down and 10 for Leaf, and the handoff goes to Means, who got a great block from Jay Cox, the rookie. And he works his way for a fine gain of 8, tackled eventually by Bill Romanowski Romanowski has probably been Denver's best defensive player of the season.
Ryan Leaf and Bubby Brister going at it today. Ryan Leaf only 4 for 14. Bubby Brister having a big day. You know, not a lot of numbers right there, 187 yards, but good percentage throwing, scrambling, making things happen when the protection breaks down. Solid performance by Brister.
And came in cold. Didn't know he was going to start until just seconds before the opening of the game. Second down along 2. And they give it to the tank Means, who's close to a first down beyond the 30. Let's go to New York, our CBS studios in Jim Nantz.
All right, Kev, let's get you caught up now on the Jets story. It's Testaverde who's having a big day to Dedrick Ward for a touchdown early third quarter, and the Jets are up 20-9. But the Bills are driving. Back to you.
Okay, Jim, you know, to me, the difference in the Jets season was when they lost 30-10 in St. Louis, started Foley, brought back Testaverde, and they knew from that point on that Vinny was going to be their quarterback.
Well, it was the talk of the town, and it was a big decision for Bill Parcells, but he had to make a decision to stick with one guy, and it's paid off.
Last time a first down was acquired by the Chargers late in the first quarter. Here's a first down handoff. Means can't find anything going over the left side. It'll be second down and about 11.
And in this series, June Jones is elected to feed the ball to Means, take a little bit of the pressure off of Ryan Leaf, who really has had just an awful day today.
You know, Bonnie Bernstein talked in our pregame show with Leaf and talked about his problems off the field, which I know June Jones is very concerned about, as is everybody in this organization. They readily admit this kid is their future.
He's the future. He's a young guy. He makes mistakes off the field, judgment mistakes off the field, and frankly, he's making judgment mistakes on the field today.
Second down, 11. Time for Leaf. Flag is thrown. He throws an interception. Picked off by Darian Gordon. His second of the year as he dances inside the 15. He bulldozers inside the 10. He's down to the San Diego 7. A return at 36, but a flag is on the field.
Looked like holding against San Diego, which will be declined. That's what it was.
Leaf throws his 13th interception of the year.
Number 63.
And his first in 2.5 games.
Now Leaf set up looking to his right. Came back at the last minute. You can see nothing on the ball. The ball was not a tight spiral at all. Thrown to the outside. Slaughter was just on a pivot looking for the ball to be thrown on the inside. Now we don't have privy to who was right or wrong right there, but the ball clearly thrown away from where the receiver was wanting it.
Leaf's first interception in 85 passes. He had gone over 2 games without throwing a pick, but the pressure was all over him that time, and he throws it into the arms of Darian Gordon, a former Charger, who you know is enjoying sweet revenge now.
He only took 5 steps. It was a deep enough pattern. He should have taken a 7-step drop that time.
On the 7, first and goal, fake pitch. Here comes Brister, looking in the end zone, hit by Coleman, throws, it's caught, and he is in for the touchdown. McCaffrey.
I'll tell you, McCaffrey's having a big year, but it looks to me as McCaffrey breaks back to the inside. Now he's wide open, nobody around him. Demery is there just looking as if he thinks he's got help inside. It's not there.
Great job of McCaffrey staying in as Elam tacks on another point. McCaffrey, with the 7-yard touchdown reception there, has his 7th of the season. He caught 1 last week against Cincinnati. 7 is a career high. It's all Denver.
Var rädd om dig nu, Sanoke.
It's no wonder that children like this grew up to build a car like this. The new Volvo S80. Protect the body. Ignite the soul.
Okay, people, this is a phone, and this is $1. You still with me? Well, that's good. Now, dial this number, and all your long-distance calls from home could cost less than $1. That's right, with 10-10-220, all calls up to 20 minutes are only 99 cents. Talk longer, and it's just 10 cents for each extra minute. No fees, no contracts. Am I right, Poochie? Just dial 10-10-220, then 1, then the number. Bottom line, you get up to 20 minutes on this for less than this. You got that? Good, because if I'm not mistaken, I think nature's calling my dog.
Hey, Johnny, there's a new Chunky Soup, Sweetie Pie.
Hey, Chunky's... Did you just call me Sweetie Pie?
Oh, no, Sweaty Guy. There's a new Chunky Soup, Sweaty Guy. Chunky baked potato with cheddar and bacon bits. A hearty soup loaded with big chunks of baked potato to fill my little Johnny bear, right?
Mom?
Gotta make sure you're eating good.
How long you been wearing this?
Since the half.
New Campbell's Chunky Baked Potato Soups.
They fill you up right.
Cosby's going on a health kick.
Jumbo veggie dog.
But does he have the willpower?
The road to hell is smothered in grilled onion.
And all new Cosby, CBS Monday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Volvo. Volvo reminds you to drive safely. And by 10-10-2-20.
All Broncos. Brister throwing yet another touchdown pass with the injured Elway in the locker room. 27-0, the world champions. Kickoff by Elam. We expect to see a quarterback change with San Diego. He drives it deep. Reserve running back Kenny Bynum brings it out of the end zone. He's up to the 16-yard line and tackled on the play by Detron Smith and Keith Burns. We're going to see Craig Wheelahan come in. He's played 2 games already this year. Timeout, San Diego.
I don't want to buy a new PC every year till commencement.
I needed one that would keep up with them.
Gotta save something for college.
Let's talk about Yourware. Call 1-800-GATEWAY and we'll custom build your kids a PC with an Intel processor and CD-ROM. Now for only $9.99. Or with the Yourware program, it's just $28 a month. And in 2 years, you can trade it in toward the purchase of a new one.
Do you guys make sneakers?
Call us now and let's talk about Yourware from Gateway.
Johnson, I'd like to see some ideas on saving the company money. I'll be back first thing in the morning.
Think. That's the dumbest. Think. Help.
Well, Johnson, Staples. That'll save us a lot of money. You are a genius.
Staples has guaranteed low prices, like 15 pens for 88 cents. Staples. Yeah, we've got that.
MetLife financial professionals believe the best way to discuss your financial future, including mutual funds, annuities, and insurance, is face-to-face. That's why we make house calls. Get Met. It pays.
There are other ways to get to work, but nah.
The Marines are accused of killing their own. Is it a fact or a reporter out of control?
You knew the truth. You deliberately left things out.
All new Jag, CBS Tuesday.
New quarterback Craig Wheelahan.
Moments ago, though, it was Ryan Leaf that thought he was going in the ball game. Wheelahan, though, going in, it's enough. June Jones had seen enough, and it's time to look at somebody else.
Wheelahan has played in 2 games this year. He's 9 of 21 throwing for the Chargers this season. On 1st and 10, he hands off to Means. He has no place to go. They have really shut down Means this afternoon. Mike Lodish makes the tackle.
Look what happened just a moment ago. Ball turned over. San Diego has the ball. Ryan Leaf was sitting on the bench with his hat on, basically not paying attention. Notice where it was. Starts over to the coach. June Jones is talking to Craig Wheelahan. That's when he finds out for the first time. Now you'll see that Coach Jones is now talking to Leaf, telling him you're not in and the reason why. I feel for June Jones right here. This is a situation that he has not brought on himself. He's just trying to handle it.
2nd down, 12, near the 15. Again, Price up the middle. He dumps it off in the flat. Wheelahan hits Means, who tries to cut across the grain and loses about 2 yards on the play. John Mobley was there.
Now this is a totally different situation than when Denver lost John Elway in the pre-game warm-up and put Brister in there. Wheelahan is a young quarterback. He's got some experience, 4 years in the league. And he has started in this league. Big guy, 6'5". But he, I'll guarantee you, did not have any idea that he'd be playing today because Ryan Leaf is the declared future of this team.
And he just burns the first of 3 second-half San Diego timeouts. Wheelahan started the final 7 games of last year when both Stan Humphries and Jim Everett went down with injuries. 2 quarterbacks that are no longer with the Chargers. And in fact, both out of football.
What makes it tough, though, for Wheelahan is they have simplified the offense. They've changed a few things. He hasn't got very many reps. It's not like going all the way back to minicamp.
Autry Denson and Jarius Jackson ignite the Notre Dame Fighting Irish against Brian Broadwater and the Middies of Navy. That's next week, or it's a showdown of SEC powers. And the Arkansas Razorbacks tag with T. Martin and the Tennessee Vols all next Saturday on NASDAQ Amex College Football. 3rd and 16, and the Chargers are 0 of 7 on 3rd down conversions today. A tough spot for interim coach June Jones.
They're backed up now, but they have not crossed the midfield stripe all day long offensively.
Shotgun snap from Thornton. Great time for Wheelahan, who winds up. He's got a receiver. And it was picked off but out of bounds by Tyrone Braxton on a pass intended for Webster Slaughter. Braxton literally flew out of no place and made the pick, but didn't keep his feet in bounds.
Braxton, just like Steve Atwater, big guy, but can cover a lot of ground in the center field. Look at him coming from over here. Now he's coming from inside. He's going to steal it, but he's got to get 2 feet down in bounds, just like a wide receiver does. Doesn't get either foot down in bounds, but still leaves San Diego backed up and punting, and they haven't been doing a good job of punting today.
We're talking about Darren Bennett, who does get this one off high and hanging. And with the catch at the 43-yard line, Darian Gordon, who is finally whipped around and taken down by Michael Hamilton, a reserve linebacker.
I don't know what Darian Gordon was doing on that one. It looked like he wanted to wait for some blocking to develop, but you can't stand back there as a returner. You've got to be moving somewhere.
47-yard punt. And Gordon, who is as good as he's ever been returning punts in the NFL, loses 9 on that one.
Upset with himself about it, too.
Well, tomorrow on CBS, it's Outtake Monday. Catch all new episodes of your favorite Monday comedies. Crosby, King of Queens. Everybody Loves Raymond, and Becker, starring Ted Danson. Plus, all night long, see the stars flub up in their most hilarious outtakes ever. It's all followed by an all-new LA Doctors. That's tomorrow night, right here on CBS.
Stars at King of Queens.
Kevin James, yes. Going by, and flag is thrown as Terrell Davis takes it with about 3 Chargers on his back up to the 37. Norman Hand was the guy that brought him down here. Kevin James and Leah Remini were up here.
Very nice people, do a great job with that show. Now, right here is the time that if you're the coach, Mike Shanahan, on the winning team, you've got to really bear down on the guys in the field because they can lose their attention, their concentration. You put the pressure on them just like they were in a tight ball game.
Holding, number 77, 10 yards, first down.
Tony Jones.
See right there at the end, referee White, look down at his hand. He has a little rubber band he puts around one finger for first down, 2, 3, so forth, just to remind himself, because out there got a lot of things to think about. Just a little trick that they have, and all the officials out there will do that so that everyone kind of checks each other.
They could have used that at Columbia, Missouri a couple years ago, and the Colorado Buffaloes got another down and beat the Missouri Tigers.
Be like a steel trap. You don't forget anything. How many years ago was college football? You had the office cool on that one.
1st and 20. Again, Brewster sets up, hits McCaffrey. He shoved out of bounds by Jimmy Spencer. McCaffrey with yet another catch. Ex-Giant, ex-49er, Eddie McCaffrey.
And the ex-Bengal, Spencer covering the outside. Just a quick move to the outside. That's what's called a speed move. You're not trying to trick the guy. You're not trying to freeze him. You just go out, plant your feet, move quickly, ball's thrown on time to the outside. We used to tell the quarterbacks to throw 7 yards to the outside of the receiver making a speed move like that. By the time the ball travels in the air about 20, 22 yards, right on stride, that's what happened.
Good day for McCaffrey. 2nd down. And the handoff to Davis, and not a lot up the middle that time. Lee Johnson was there. And at the bottom of the pile, you see 54, Kurt Gavea. He really has been about as responsible as any Charger for their fine defensive effort so far through the first half of the season.
Well, he's the guy that gets them all in place. When he was injured, had the neck injury, and was out, they had to move everybody around. Lou Bush moved around. Dixon came in. Burgess ended up having to play. Junior Seau was out of position. When he came back in, everything solidified again. But Kurt Gavea is one of those ball players, old school ball players, plays hurt as long as he can.
3rd and 11. Brister in for the injured Elway, who did not start. Brister did, and here's his pass, and it's thrown back at the receiver, rookie Marcus Nash. A flag was thrown on the route, and with the body language of Terrence Shaw, looks to be on the San Diego Chargers.
And Terrence Shaw has already been fined $10,000 for getting in the face of an official a few weeks ago.
Last game against Seattle.
Yep, he done one, and his teammates are pulling him away.
Number 29, 5-yard penalty. It's a first down.
He probably is their best cover corner.
He is their best cover corner. When they had Harper on the other side, Dwayne Harper, they really were covered. Charles Demery has done a good job this year on the opposite side of Terrence Shaw, but today I think Charles Demery's had an off day. He just hasn't looked back for the ball. They've thrown it good coverage, but the receivers found the ball before Demery did. Shaw, that time, upset because he's just playing tough physical football, got called for it.
So it's 1st and 10 with the penalty, and Brister outside. McCaffrey with his 8th reception of the afternoon and close to a first down, knocked out at about the 46. Tackled by Spencer again.
What Denver is doing is they're sending McCaffrey in motion. When he comes in motion, the cover guy following him. Now watch what happens when he comes in motion. As the coverage starts, watch him soften. He'll actually lose ground. You see him lose away from the 40-yard line. It opens up the quick out. It's just a method of getting your receivers open.
And I would assume if you're a quarterback reading, it tips you off whether they're going to play man-to-man or zone.
Well, it does. More times than not, it tips you off if a back goes in motion, but sometimes, at least half the time, if a receiver goes in motion and the cover corner runs all the way, it's man-to-man.
So it's just not window dressing. 2nd down, a long one. Davis tries to skip by Harrison and does, but picks up nothing and still has a yard and a half shy of a first down.
Well, the one thing San Diego's done, their run defense has not slowed down the pace that they set coming in here. Terrell Davis now 56 yards on 12 carries.
And his string of 100-yard games, 7 and counting, coming into today in danger.
Yep. And the pace that he was setting, he was on pace to gain over 2,300 yards this year. Were he able to keep it up? Came into this game with 1,150 yards rushing the ball.
Last guy to get that many yards, or close to it, 21:05. 14 years ago, Eric Dickerson.
O.J. Simpson before Dickerson.
Timeout taken by Brister with a 3rd and 1. Sam White, you have been on many committees as a head coach in the NFL and always interjecting what you think the league should do. And here's some things that you would do if you were king for a day in the NFL.
I got to be king for a day. I would put the instant replay back in just in the 4th quarter so that if a mistake's made and you don't have time to recover, you can do it. The rest of the game, let the human element do it. I'd put the umpire behind the offensive side of the ball. How many times do you see that umpire just get killed as the ball carrier runs up that way? 1st and 2nd half division winners. You know, at the end of 8 games, give everybody a fresh start, and there'd be a 2nd half 8-game season, and the 2 winners of each division go to the playoffs, and then activate all 53 players. You know, right now, there are 53 players that are paid full salary, and then only 46 are active for each ball game. I think let them all get dressed up. You'd have a chance maybe to help the special teams. That's if I were king. So far, the voting is not real good in my favor.
But good ideas nonetheless, especially that 4th quarter instant replay.
Well, you know, I think that if you had an appeal system in the 4th quarter, when you don't have much time to recover from an honest mistake, the officials do a terrific job, but mistakes do happen.
3rd down, a long one. Brister throws, and a diving reception is made by Rod Smith. Picks up 3 and a first down for the Broncos.
I hate to hammer this too much, but I think 2 things are happening here. San Diego's run defense is doing such a good job against Terrell Davis that they are, you know, they're worried about it a little bit here. Denver is. And number 2, they're trying to get Bubby Brister ready for next week because they probably know more than we do. They definitely know more than we do about how severe that injury to John Elway is.
And they play next week Monday night in Kansas City.
Big ball game. Kansas City, of course, right now on the skids. Losing again today.
Up in Seattle. First and 10. Terrell Davis. Flag is thrown. He was upended head over heels by Rodney Harrison as they take a look at the flag, and it appears to be against Denver, and it is. Hold it.
Davis finally gets a nice run, and it's going to be called back.
Holding. Number 66. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
4 penalties on the Broncos, all on the offense today.
Tom Nail in the center. He's the guy that directs all the traffic, makes all the calls in the line. Make sure everybody up and down knows the blocking schemes. You know, once a play is called, the offensive linemen have their own little game going after that. They've got to change the blocking scheme depending on what the defensive front shows them. Nalen does a good job of making those calls.
He does. It's a very good line. Schlereth at the right guard. Neal basically as a rookie, although he was inactive most of last season, his rookie season.
Unusual line, though. Not one 300-pounder on the offensive line. Most teams now have those big linemen. Denver goes the other way with 50.
First and 20. He's right on the money with a pass caught by Ed McCaffrey. He picks up 13 on first and 20. Tackle made by Spencer. Let's go to CBS in New York with Jim Nance.
Well, Kevin and Sam, the Heisman quarterback battle is being won today by Vinny Testaverde, spreading the wealth around. He's at all 3 of his receivers now for touchdowns. Wayne Crevette nabs this one, and the Jets are up big. Fourth quarter, back to you in Denver.
New England lost. If the Jets win, beating Buffalo, the Jets tied with Miami, who beat the Colts. There'll be a 2-way tie for first place in the East.
All right, say that real quick one more time. It looks like Miami and the New York Jets on top.
That's what he said. Hey, to fill in our people on what happened today. Second down 7. Davis got a drop from Nalen. Has a first down run as he breaks a tackle on the way. And Terrence Shaw is left in his wake. Gain of 11. Another first down for Denver.
Davis is so strong. Uses that the stiff arm on this one right here. And he's trying to come up inside, but it's not there. Now when he bounces outside, watch him just push away would-be tacklers right here. Stiff arms, throws the feet, and then is able to turn up the field. You know, once you get running hard sideways like that, it's hard to change direction. And this field has not been real good in terms of traction today.
How about the Jets, though? They've been hot. After losing by 20 in St. Louis, they went up to New England, beat the Patriots in New England, beating the Bills today.
But that hot streak started when they settled on Testaverde.
You're right. They beat Kansas City last week. As Davis, with a lot of 2 tight ends now, not picking up anything. John Perella was there with the tackle. Well, tonight on CBS, if you're a smoker and your sex life isn't all it could be or should be, tonight 60 Minutes is one broadcast you can't afford to miss.
Quit looking at me. I don't smoke.
Then it's Touched by an Angel, followed by the CBS special miniseries, Mama Flores Family. Cicely Tyson stars an Alex Haley story that picks up where Roots left off. All tonight on America's Address, CBS. Rodney Harrison has probably a cramp, I would assume.
That's what it looks like when you take that foot and you kind of bend it back. You're just stretching the muscles there, the calf muscles. Even on a cool day, you can lose fluids out here and get cramps.
So the Jets leading Buffalo. That is a fourth quarter score. Seattle all over Kansas City. Gerbach again struggling, just 2 Kansas City field goals. San Francisco trailed at halftime, but they've come back, now leading Carolina 22-16. Arizona was down 17-7. They lead 23-17. Cardinals could go to 5-4. Jacksonville over Cincinnati. Bengals next week in Minnesota. That'll be a great game at the Dome in Minneapolis.
The Bengals can come up and just find a way to play the top teams. They played these Denver Broncos down to the wire last week. Catch them in Minnesota. Catch Minnesota next week up there on the road. Ought to be a good one.
Miami won, so right now they are alone in first place. If the Jets win, it'll be a 2-way tie for first. Patriots lost to Atlanta, somewhat surprisingly up in Foxborough, and the Bills losing to the Jets.
Bobby Bristol's going to have to hurry it up to get this one off.
9th play of the drive. It's 2nd down and 9. There go the flags.
That's what happened. The clock was ticking down and everybody panicked.
Ball start. Number 42, prior to the snap, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
And that's another story. Griffith went out with a bad ankle, and Detron Smith has played most of the game at fullback.
Well, this game started out. First, John Elway goes out during warm-ups. Surprisingly, nobody said anything. Suddenly, Bubby Brister's in. During the course of the game, Shannon Sharp was injured momentarily. McCaffrey, Howard Griffith, who has not returned. Detron Smith taking his place.
So second down and 14 from the 42. Blocked by Davis, buys time for Brister, going deep, knocked away wonderfully at the end by Jimmy Spencer. Stride for stride with 6'5" Ed McCaffrey. Well, division races are heating up and shaping up next Sunday with the NFL on CBS. A full slate of regional games: Cincinnati, Minnesota, Miami, Carolina. Then in the late window, Seattle, Oakland, and Baltimore going to San Diego. Pre-game coverage begins with Jim Nance, George Seifert, Bonnie Bernstein, Brent Jones, and Marcus Allen on the NFL Today. All next week on CBS.
I give up trying to figure out who's going to win Sunday to Sunday. You can't go by records anymore. One thing that's a credit to the coaching staff, they're keeping their teams ready to play, even if they are trailing in the polls.
3rd and 14, it's a pass blocked by Davis, who wouldn't have had a first down anyway at the 39. Had to get inside the 28. So the Broncos have got a punt.
Charles Dimry in on that one. And Dimry has been replaced by Jimmy Spencer. I think that June Jones had probably seen Charles Dimry get beat enough today, but that was a nickel situation. They needed the extra backs in there. Right in the right spot at the right time.
Ruin will punt once again. His second punt in 3 Denver possessions. And the second of the day. This one lands at the 5 and is downed by the Broncos' Tito Paul. 35-yard punt. Ruin does a great job right there. Well, we talked about changes on the field. There are changes on the sideline as well this year.
Well, when I was coaching, we used to have to deal with this all the time. Those wires, and that was mine. This is actual footage of my wires.
Well, you look a lot like Dennis Green then, because I just saw Dennis Green.
Okay, I didn't get away with it. Nowadays, though, if you'll notice, there are no wires. Now, this wire right here is just feeding down to an antenna, or to a little antenna, I guess it is, a little wire that is a wireless connection now upstairs to the coaches, so they can talk, and you can see that these coaches can move back and forth without that trailer trying to keep the wires straight.
Greg Wheelahan in for the ineffective Leaf. Handoff goes to Means, tackled by Romanowski. Cleaning up the numbers on Leaf today with no gain by Means. Leaf finishes 4 of 15 for 26 yards, 1 interception. I got to tell you, he looks like he's going backwards, as opposed to a guy like Peyton Manning, who I think shows a little bit of more progress week in and week out as he goes through the season.
Well, in talking to him last night, you know, both of us kind of came away with the same impression that we didn't see a lot of progress from earlier in the year when we talked to him. That the game still, he hasn't grown up in this ballgame like he's going to have to. On the other hand, Manning has.
Second down 10 for Wheelahan. With time, downfield, wide open is receiver Ricks, but it hit him on a bounce, incomplete. Too low, incomplete pass, and Ricks was wide open.
Well, that time Wheelahan was looking downfield, didn't see anybody, starts to step to his right to throw into the flat, and then he spots Michael Ricks at 6'5", pretty hard to miss him, wide open. Part of the reason he was so wide open is that the defense saw the stride into the throw into the flat.
You know, finishing up on Leaf, it seems to me when they spend all that money on all these free agents, it had to occur to somebody that a veteran backup for a kid who lacks some maturity like Leaf needs that guidance. He needs someone. We talked about it in the first half. But of all the players you need someone to bring this kid along who's playing the same position, goes to the same meetings, is going through the same things.
Well, it's different than having a coach that's working with you. Because when practice is over, then you go with that veteran guy and you watch what he does, throwing the extra balls, getting there early for extra film study and all that goes with it. He needs a veteran with him.
Well, Tuesday on CBS, the Marines are accused of killing their own. Now, Lieutenant Commander Harmon Rabb must find out if it's fact or a reporter's wild sketchings and he's out of control. An all-new Jag with dogs fighting Tuesday on CBS.
The action movie of the night. Being a pilot, I like to see all those jets flying by. Big down.
3rd down and 10. And the gun Wheelahan Rush comes on, the pass is away, and it is caught for a first down by Charlie Jones, a gain of 12 on 3rd and 10.
And what San Diego's done now, they go to the shotgun with the extra receivers. They push Denver into a nickel or dime defense, and Denver is playing a zone. You see the receiver, look right here, to watch him just kind of settle in. Everybody's playing an area, and there's the throwing lane down the field. Braxton's going to come over and tag him down.
That is the first 3rd down conversion for the Chargers all afternoon.
All the receivers out to the wide, out of the backfield.
On the 21, 1st and 10 for Wheelahan. Setting up, a flag is thrown, and the pass is caught again by Jones. He is to the 27-yard line, but the flag thrown back at the 16.
As the wave starts here at Mile High Stadium.
They're trying to stay warm, I assume. It's against the Chargers.
Illegal formation. Number 65 is lined up on the end of the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, first down.
John Jackson.
You can see Craig Wheelahan pressing here. The last 2 or 3 throws have been nose down, below the belt, hard throws, and he's overstriding. He's trying to get so much into the ball that he's taking such a long stride. The ball is taking a nose down flight. Not very easy to catch.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. Broncos 27, San Diego nothing. We'll return to Mile High Stadium after this message and a word from your local CBS station.
Monday, what a show on Dave. Don't miss Meryl Streep's first Late Show appearance, singer George Michael, and teen sensations Hanson. Monday on The Late Show.
The address is CBS. Welcome home! Sorry!
I'm Ed McCaffrey. I catch footballs for a living. Now, I've found it's a lot easier to actually catch footballs when my quarterback is happy. So, to keep mine happy, I go to McDonald's for their 2-for-2 deal. I can get 2 Big Macs for $2, I can get 2 Quarter Pounders with cheese for $2, or I can mix and match. I can even get 2 Egg McMuffins for only $2. That way, I can bring one back to my quarterback. He'll throw me better passes, I'll become famous, then he'll start bringing me Big Macs. Yeah, probably not.
Excuse me. I'm looking for Victoria Station.
What is it about people who work at gates? Would it hurt to talk?
At United Airlines, the people who work at our gates are making it their responsibility to answer questions, solve problems, and just lighten up a little. We know it breaks with tradition, but we're trying to reinvent an airline here.
With QuadraDrive, the only 4-wheel drive system that operates at maximum capability all the time. It's no wonder the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee is one of the safest ways to cross treacherous terrain. The all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most capable sport utility ever. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Is there a case against Patsy Ramsey? Find out tonight at 10.
Denver looking for their 10th consecutive regular season win going back to last year. 1st and 15 for San Diego. We begin the 4th quarter. Means trying to get in some breathing space for the offense. Stiff arms his way to about the 20-yard line, picking up 4 yards.
San Diego now has decided they're going to put in the extra wide receivers. They're going to push Denver into a pass defense mode. Extra defensive backs take the linebacker out. Hopefully getting more and more zone, which makes it a little bit easier for Craig Wheelahan. As you can see June Jones right there. He looks down at the sheet. That's a sideline sheet. He's got all the plays on it. But that list has been really restricted when Wheelahan went in the ballgame because he hasn't had a lot of practice.
2nd down 11. Wheelahan again with pretty good time. Great catches made by Brian Still. Gain of 10. Close to a first down.
You know, Brian Still and Michael Ricks, 2 solid wide receivers. Still's been the guy that's been catching most of them. Came into this game with 33 receptions. He's just going to go to the outside pivot, and the ball should be thrown to the outside shoulders. Brian Steele has to make the extra special catch on that one. That ball was just thrown a little too far outside.
That's his first catch of the day.
If you can keep those balls, though, in the body, a guy like Brian Steele will make a long run for you after the catch. And that's part of the problem. When you're a little bit out of sync like that, you don't get those extra yards because the ball's just not right in the top quarter.
Timeout again. And Means throws his helmet in disgust, which you can't do on the field. That should be a penalty. You take your helmet off on the field, whether in celebration or in anxiety, and it's a penalty flag. Things are falling apart for the Chargers. Timeout.
Do you know me? Not yet. I'm starting my own business, and that's a little scary. For me, the card is my support system. I rely on it to build my office, fill my closet, buy business lunches, dinners, and when it all gets to be too much, I rely on it to bring me home. It's good to know there's someone there when you need them.
The difference is membership.
I remember when I took my driving test. Everyone was so sure I would pass. I was already a local racing champion, the pride of my village. Everything went perfectly, but just as I opened the door, at that moment, I realized what I had to do. Drive cars with no doors.
For great advice about digital technology, head for Circuit City. If you're looking for a DVD player, make sure you choose one with DivX. Only DivX enhanced DVD players play both DVD and DivX movie discs. DivX lets you watch DVD movies at home for about what it costs to rent, but you never have to return movies or pay late fees. Get this RCA DivX enhanced DVD player for just $399.99 and take home any 5 DivX movies free after rebate. Plug into DivX at Circuit City.
Blair Underwood, Queen Latifah, Della Reese, Mario Van Peebles, and Cicely Tyson in Alex Haley's Mama Flora's Family. CBS Tonight.
Look at Wheelahan's eyes right here. He sees there's not much time now. Look right here. Natron Means has a fit because they have to call timeout.
3rd and 1. And it's Wheelahan taking it himself, and a flag is down at the 33.
Denver lines up all sides in that short yardage situation. That'll be a first down.
Offside, number 39, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. That's a first down.
That's a cornerback, Ray Crockett.
Yeah, but let me tell you what was happening back there with Natron Means. Here's a competitive guy, and he's listening to things. He can probably hear a little bit of what's going on from the headset to the quarterback. Maybe the plays aren't getting in. Maybe June Jones is trying to explain a little too much. Who knows what's going on? But he is frustrated because teams at this stage of the season should be ready to play better than San Diego looks today.
1st and 10 from the 35. Wheelahan rifles a pass for a first down. It's caught by Still. Winding through traffic. It's a downfield block from his tight end, Freddie Jones. And it's a gain of 22 yards on the play, and a first down for the Chargers to New York in gymnastics.
All right, Kevin, the Jets took a John Hall field goal off the board, accepted the penalty, and then ran in with Curtis Martin for a touchdown, and they're now starting to pour it on the Bills with only 6:38 remaining. Back to you.
All right, Jim, thank you. It is a first down for San Diego, the longest play of the day for the Chargers, their deepest penetration to the 38 of Denver. Wheelahan in for the ineffective leap. Great blocking on the side for Ryan McKenzie, and a pass caught by Means takes him down to the 31. Marvin Washington with a tackle for Denver.
You'll notice Natron Means is right back in the ballgame. He wasn't quitting on his football team a minute ago. That was frustration, anger, and it was a competitiveness coming out, and he was showing up on the field because they had to call the timeout. Now, let me tell you something. I'm not blaming June Jones for this. He's taken over an almost impossible situation. Their offense is trying to break in a young quarterback who is not making the progress he should, in part because he probably is not giving it all the attention that he needs to give it. When the guy goes home and, as he told us last night, kind of watches TV while he studies his playbook, that's not how you get ready to play football.
2nd down and 3. Mammoth hole for a great run of 15 yards by Natron Means. Now they're picking up some steam, and they're all the way to the 16-yard line. 15 by Means. Log on to NFL.com as this week's Players Spotlight features Steeler quarterback Cordell Stewart and a profile NFL alum Jim Marshall. All on NFL.com. Some life from the San Diego offense.
They're finally moving past the 50-yard line and actually looking good doing it.
Inside the 17, 1st and 10. Draw play handoff. And not much there. As Bynum tries to work his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Take that play away, and San Diego seems to have found a little bit of an answer here, and that's spreading out the Denver defense with extra wide receivers, shotgun formation part of the time. You see right there, that's June Jones. He's talking to the quarterback. He's not talking to the coaches upstairs. And that headset, as soon as he mashes a button on his hip right there, transfers over to the quarterback, and he can talk to him all the way up until 15 seconds before the snap.
2nd down, long 10. 10th play of the San Diego drive. At the Denver 17. Wheelahan. He's being chased by Price and throws it incomplete, aiming on the side for H-back John Burke. It'll be 3rd and long.
Well, the offensive line is still blocking for him. Certainly gave him plenty of time. Nobody was getting open. Good coverage down the field by Denver on that one. Wheelahan actually had good movement in the pocket to give himself a chance to go to an alternate receiver. This is really an opportunity for him to impress the coaches right now and get back into a little bit of a competitive situation with Ryan Leaf and let Leaf maybe have a little bit of the pressure taken off, because right now it's just not coming through.
Wheelahan is 5 of 8 throwing. 3rd and long. Blitz is on by Williams, and a pass down the middle is caught at the 6 by Slaughter. Wonderful shoot-top reception by Slaughter. It's a gain of 11. Only his 7th reception of the season. It's 1st and goal, San Diego.
12 years in the league, Webster Slaughter. Now watch Wheelahan. He's looking to the left all the way. Slaughter's coming from this side right here. Ball comes down low. Ball is caught. He's free to get up. Right now he's tagged. He's down. Now the confrontation a little bit taking place with Ray Crockett. Ray Crockett actually put his finger right up there in the face mask. Officials let it go.
1st down and goal from the 6. Drive began at the Charger 8. And it's a pass in the end zone and caught. A flag is down and incomplete because they've blown it dead before the play had a chance to get going. That away, and that's called on San Diego, and Riley McKenzie, the right tackle.
And that's the way it goes when things start working against you like that. Now June Jones is looking at a sheet. Now he's not just pulling from what would normally be the red zone or the inside the 20 play selection. He's got to pull from that selection and then pull from that the play that he thinks Craig Wheelahan is ready to play, ready to execute. See all the conversation in the huddle? He's telling everybody. Now he's trying to basically reaffirming to himself that this is what we're going to do.
1st and goal from the 10. They hand off to Means, who gives him a great block, and another whistle is blown, and a timeout taken by Denver.
Timeout. Denver.
A late timeout. This shutout means a lot to this defense. Thus, they want to make sure they're ready. Timeout taken.
So your client is asking for 9 cup holders in the 7-passenger vehicle?
Backup beverages, Jack.
And your client wants a disappearing 3rd seat. What is this, a magic show?
You ever try taking one of those things out?
My client doesn't think we even need a 3rd seat.
Objection. My client sleeps back there.
The all-new, easy-to-use, something for everyone Honda Odyssey. It's one big happy minivan.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
setup.
St. Ignatius 8th grade girls basketball is fantastic.
Regina, where's your game at? Where's your game at? Where's your game at?
Shut up!
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new Honda Odyssey. It's one big happy minivan. Bud Light, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. And by Nike.
It'd be easy to get a cord of wood up there in the mountains. 27-0. Denver with a shutout over San Diego, and they'd like to protect that shutout.
Yes, they would. They're 50% down here defensively. They've had opponents in their red zone 24 times, given up 12 TDs. This is the time, though, more than that. They're not worried about the percentage in the red zone. It's that shutout. Defenses pride themselves on not letting the other team have any points at all.
Especially when you're the defending world champions. First and goal from the 10. Flag is thrown. I think McKenzie may have jumped, but was he induced? We'll have to see.
No, they're calling that one against the offense, and that whistle has to blow loud with this crowd. Stop the play.
That's 2 on McKenzie.
False start. Number 88, White. 5-yard penalty. San Diego.
I think he meant McKenzie.
Well, I tell you, they had movement in there. It looked like McKenzie to me as well. The tackles, of course, are the farthest from the quarterback, from the cadence. And they're looking outside because of the wide rush by the defensive ends. They're the ones that usually move.
A couple great games in the NFC. Carolina's up on San Francisco. First and goal from the 15. Means trying to find some daylight inside the 15-yard line to the 14. Picks up 1.
Good defense. Good swarming kind of a defense by Denver. Means had a chance there to get free, and as soon as he got free from the first guy, there was somebody else in pursuit. Speed, quickness, explosion in practice. Drill yourself. Mike Shanahan went over it with us last night. We drill at game speed at practice, even without pads. I don't want anybody slowing down. I want to see 11 guys around the ball. And this is when, in this part of the ball game, this is when it shows up. Because it's a habit. It's not something they have to think about.
And another timeout. This by Denver. And both teams now are out of second half timeouts with 9:02 to play.
You know, June Jones he pointed out to us last night, I just wanted these guys to have fun. I wanted to relax a little bit, just try to get better each week. And he kept using the word fun. Well, there's no fun in getting your tail whipped, especially when you don't look good in the effort. And right now you kind of see it in June's face. It's hard for him to have fun, even though that's what he's trying to preach to these guys. And you generally do play better when you're loose.
We see him loose last night when we talked to him.
Really looked ready to play. You know, you can kind of get a measure of a team. Although I will tell you this, I think both of us walked away thinking that maybe Ryan Leaf hadn't made the progress that he's going to have to make to be the leader of this team in the future. And he's going to get the opportunity. It's not gone away just because he's been benched today. He's going to be back in that lineup. But June Jones has a tough road now trying to bring him on.
Leaf 4 of 15, finishing today for 26 yards, 1 interception. June Jones was not sure that he wanted this job when he got it. He knew Gilbride pretty well, and Gilbride brought him on staff.
Well, actually, I think they talked to Bobby Beathard, talked to several of the coaches on the staff, and June really wasn't sure. But then after thinking about it, talking with his wife, who's ill back in Atlanta, they decided, yeah, this is something they want to do, but he's not going to wear himself out. He just told us last night, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to give it my best shot. And we're going to get this team ready to play. He's capable of doing it. This is a head coach in the National Football League that we're looking at. I'll tell you, a lot of respect from a lot of people around the league when he stood up to Jeff George back in Atlanta.
Well, for those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS and the game between the San Diego Chargers and the Denver Broncos. Denver leading now 27-0. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except in the West Coast and the Mountain Time Zone. Second down goal from the 14. Relaying to the end zone and high and incomplete, looking for Charlie Jones. He threw into a thicket of Denver secondary help.
Well, there really wasn't much else happening. He had 3 receivers down the field, 2 in the corners and 1 down the middle. And the rest of the guys were picking up blitzes because Denver was coming with everybody. You see everyone is locked in there picking up. The ball is thrown. It's got to be thrown high. You definitely don't want that ball thrown low where people between you and the receiver and the quarterback can come underneath. You want him to be able to jump for that kind of a pass in the end zone.
This Charger drive has lasted almost 8 minutes. 14th play coming up. 3rd and goal from the 14. Blitzes on, screen pass, caught by Freddie Jones. Wide open he is, and touchdown.
Good
and
call.
The shutout is gone.
Well, Denver kept coming, they kept coming, and finally they got to the little screen pass, and everybody was out of position. Once they completed the pass, everybody that could make the tackle was behind it. Now watch, the offensive line right here going to set up, and at what, about a 3 count, they start to let everybody go. Here they come. Now the ball is thrown in behind the rush, and of course you see here, there is nobody left. It's a cakewalk. Quarterback has to sell it down the field, which he does. Eyes have to be down the field. The blocker has to be solid inside, making sure that everyone thinks he's not part of the receiving corps.
They're going to go for 2. Option play. Wheelahan is in for the 2 points. That's a nice looking play. Good blocking, too, from Aaron Taylor and John Jackson on the left side. The shutout is gone for the world champions, yet still on top, 27-8.
Woo! I actually got in.
You broke into personnel.
Yeah, these are salaries of every person in the company.
Look, this senior VP makes about half as much as this senior VP. I bet he doesn't know that.
Sure he does. I just emailed everybody in the company.
The Accord Coupe from Honda. How will it affect you? Where will the world's next great city be built? It could be Russia, China, Brazil, or maybe somewhere in between. Whatever it is, wherever it is, make something great. Stanley.
Monday, when the King of Queens goes back to night school.
Does it look like Batman?
Higher education.
Win it!
It's an all-time low.
Jim, I cracked corn. I hate this book.
It's a learning experience for the whole family.
I gotta use it, John.
Would you relax?
The King of Queens.
Excuse me for not having a prostate!
An all-new episode, part of CBS Outtake Monday.
Denver 27-8 over San Diego. So they kind of let the bear out of the cave there by letting them in the end zone, but it's still a pretty commanding Denver performance this afternoon.
Good drive, though. 7 minutes, 46 seconds, 92 yards on that drive. Something positive in this ball game that June Jones can take back to this team, get started. Although this is not over with. They were looking for the onside kick, but they kick it deep. And out of the end zone.
Hebron was deep back, and so Denver will get it at the 20-yard line. First down and 10. Next week, the NFL on CBS, of course, begins with the NFL Today, followed by Cincinnati at Minnesota, Miami at Carolina, then Seattle against Oakland, Baltimore at San Diego in the late window. Check for the game and times in your area, all beginning with a 12 Eastern start of the NFL Today with Jim Nansen coming.
Now you have to say, beside Denver, Minnesota is the top. They are the top 2 teams in the National Football League right now. Minnesota got beat by Tampa a week ago, but very strong football team. Going to be a good one, though. Cincinnati almost knocked off these Denver Broncos a week ago.
Bobby Brister hands off to Terrell Davis, who's well under 100 yards on the day, picking up 4 right there. Steve Tovar makes the stop. And if Denver wins today, it'll be their 21st consecutive win at home. Winning by an average of about 19 points a game.
Oh, they're averaging 34 points a game scoring offensively. They're building this new stadium. You know how many more seats they're going to have when they build this new stadium? 2.
Is that all?
2 more new seats. They're basically just going to build a much nicer stadium and a new one just adjoining this one, but really the seating capacity is going to be the same. +2.
Second down and 6. Brister throws incomplete. May have been tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Not only do they win here, they have a lot of people looking when they do. New York Giants, with a bigger stadium, has a few more people that they can count on, but 74,325 average attendance here. They just sell this place out. People look forward to their Broncos playing at home.
Third down and 6 from the 24.
Come over here!
All the starters still in. Brister in for the injured Elway, throws high and over the head of Ed McCaffrey. Double teamed on the play was McCaffrey by Spencer and Harrison. Denver's got a punt again.
Well, you know, there's still a lot of pride on the defensive side of the ball for San Diego, but it's a little bit of a question mark to me as to why they're throwing the ball so much with Bubby Brister, unless they are just doing it to get him the experience, to give him a few more snaps to throw the ball, because they are at least wondering if they're going to have to go with him for the next couple of weeks. With John Elway, for those that weren't here earlier, during warm-up, he strained a rib muscle and did not open the ball game. Just surprised everybody. Bubby Brister jogged out. Elway tried to come back in, but couldn't last.
Was Shaw to the 37. 9-yard return, 48-yard punt by Tom Ruin. Timeout, 7:44, halfway through the fourth, 27-8, the Broncos.
Okay, people, can we get started? Bob, your offer to give my clients their own reading lights is very generous and would be acceptable if they could read.
So, what if each party had its own sliding door?
We can live with that.
Wait a minute. My client isn't asking permission from a couple of 4-year-olds to use the door.
Can we get back to the main issue?
What is the main issue?
Power.
Oh, give me a break. We already give your client power windows, power mirrors, power door locks. What do you want?
You know what he wants, a V6. And he's ready to walk if he doesn't get one.
Okay, he gets his 6.
Yeah, but we still need our cargo space, Jack. You know she does the grocery shopping.
All right. Carla, we're going to need lunch in here.
The all-new V6 7-passenger something for everyone Honda Odyssey. It's one big happy minivan.
Let's see. Whoa. Right hand. Nah, let's switch it to the left. 2 hands. Nah. Dunk on him? Let's save it. Oh, here we go.
When cosmetic surgery goes wrong,
Cardiac arrest?
only one doctor can expose the truth.
They're gonna find out what you really are.
LA Doctors, CBS Monday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by First Union, your guide to the financial world, and by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Here in Mile High, a Denver punt. San Diego takes over at the 37. As they begin to hit the aisles in the exit field at this 48-year-old stadium. Wheelan throws, and it's caught by tight end Freddie Jones, who picks up 2, up to the 39. The Jets, with the win today,
Still a tight race, though. This one's going to go on because these teams have to play each other. All of them have played. At this point, when you're that close, you're going to stay that close all the way to the end. It'll be late December before we know that one.
Second down 8. Wheelan throws high, and that whistles out of the reach of Brian Still. It'll be another long play to go for 3rd and 8.
Here's the disappointing team here, Pittsburgh. 5-3. Jacksonville playing as strong as we thought they would. Cincinnati still having a struggle, but they are still playing hard. Got the tough one next week against Minnesota.
That should be a good game next week.
I would think so. I'll tell you, Bruce Coslet will not let that team give up. They're going to play everybody hard.
Wheelahan now 3rd and 8. Outside it goes. He's got blockers ahead. It's caught by Charles Jones, and he's got the first down to the Denver 48, gain of 13.
Denver Broncos, of course, winning here. They would go to 9-0 and a comfortable lead in the AFC West. Thought to be the strongest division in football going into this season, but Kansas City, Seattle, of course, San Diego struggling this year.
1st and 10. Wheelahan throws, caught by Jones. Good block by Fulton. Lead block thrown. He's up to the 40-yard line, picking up 9. Darian Gordon makes the stop.
And speaking of the strongest division in football, we go to the other side of the coin.
The weakest.
The weakest. Dallas 6-3, leading that division. Although some of these teams, right, these, of course, Washington, Philadelphia just had one of those nightmare seasons when nothing's going right.
2nd down 1. Wheelahan and the quarterback keeper should have a first down. It's close. He had to get inside the 39.
June Jones now going to, other than quarterback sneak for the first down, going to a lot of screen passes, inside screens, and then screens to the wide receivers where the offensive linemen pull like a sweep, but you're throwing the ball out there rather than running from the backfield. The NFC Central standings, Minnesota, we've been talking about, still only 1 defeat to the Buccaneers. Green Bay, as always, right there. The most disappointing team to me right there, Detroit. I can't figure them out. They've got so many things going for them. Bobby Ross, a top coach in the league, and they just aren't able to win.
That's how far they've got to go for a first down.
What June Jones has as a problem here is he tries to climb back into this ball game. Short yardage plays eat up a lot of time. Keep the clock running because it's generally on the ground, and there's a big pile up, so they can't get going again after the play.
3rd down and 1. Ricks is on the move. And the handoff to Means. Handler gets the first down, pulling his way down to the 25. Let's go to New York with an NFL update. Here's Jim Nance.
All right, Kevin. Arizona and Washington comes down to a last-second field goal. Nedney from 48 yards. He gets it, and Arizona is now 5-4. Only 1 game back of Dallas, and they'll host them next week. If they beat them, they would share the lead. Let's go back to you.
What a game.
Arizona, I thought early in the season was going to be better than their record even today, but they look like they're regrouping.
Wheelahan incomplete. Looking again for Charlie Jones, 2nd down and 10.
Staying with the short passes, the controllable passes. Why test the guy down the field and maybe give the ball up on an interception? Just move the ball down. They had almost an 8-minute drive on the last possession. At least finish this ball game with something positive going. A lot of good things to remember as they get ready for next week. Still 5 minutes to go. A lot of time for June Jones to try to instill some things, discipline being the main one, and finish the game just like Mike Shanahan has told us he tries to instill each week with his Denver Broncos.
2nd and 10. Wheelahan fires a pass to the sideline, incomplete. Searching for Brian Still.
San Francisco leading as we speak right here. Atlanta 7-2. Dan Reeves doing a terrific job. One of the candidates for Coach of the Year, in my mind, along with Dennis Green and John Gruden in Oakland. Carolina still struggling, but playing hard. They've just been struck with so many injuries this year.
Third down and 10. Flag is thrown. They may have eaten up too much time on the clock, and
play a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Tonight on CBS, if you're a smoker and your sex life isn't all it could be or should be, tonight's 60 Minutes is one broadcast you can't afford to miss. Untouched by an Angel, followed by the special CBS miniseries, Mama Flora's Family. Cicely Tyson stars an Alex Haley story that picks up where Roots left off. All tonight, all on CBS.
And you could see on that last play that everyone was confused. The clock was running down. They ended up costing themselves 5 yards.
And they had no timeouts. 3rd and 15, another flag. They blow this one dead.
And this one is reaching a new high and lows in terms of flopiness. Quick whistle now. You see the referee, White, quickly got that play underway, and it's a 25-second clock. San Diego's got to get out of that huddle. They don't have 40. They're already down to 10 seconds.
Third and 20. They got to get down to the 16. It's a handoff, and Means gets the call. 7-yard gain.
Not a bad call, but they can't stop the clock unless, of course, John Mobley's injured, and that stops the clock for an injury timeout.
Looks like Seattle will go on to beat Kansas City. San Francisco did beat Carolina today. Because Carolina led at halftime. Redskins led there that game. Let's go to New York and an update. Here's Jim Nance in our CBS studios.
Well, here's how they did it. Carolina had a chance, but it was a chance from 58 yards. John Casey's kick. Right on, but short. And Ty Detmer leads San Francisco to victory. They were down 16-0 at one time. Niners and the Falcons share the lead at 7-2 in NFC West. Back to you.
Falcons had a good win today.
I tell you what, I can't say enough. I can't be happier for Dan Reeves and the job he's done down there, slowly but surely putting them together right. But John Mobley is still down on the field, linebacker for Denver. They cannot afford to lose this guy. This is a speed wide linebacker, stays in the ball game in the passing downs. Veteran player now of 3 years. Little ginger though, and that's a knee or an ankle.
Tomorrow on CBS, it's Outtake Monday. Catch all the new episodes of your favorite Monday comedies. Cosby, King of Queens, Everybody Loves Raymond, and Becker. Plus, all night long, see the stars flub up their most hilarious outtakes ever. It's all followed by an all-new L.A. Doctors. It's all tomorrow on CBS.
Good lineup. Like the Denver Broncos, good lineup. John Mobley now, you know, you got 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in the ball game. One of your starting linebackers is injured in a drive late in a game like this. It's just exactly what the coaches on both sides of the ball, but particularly for Denver, are hoping does not happen. Just get this ball game cleanly done now. Hard play it, but no more injuries. Trainers look like they're working on the left ankle of John Mobley from Kutztown State. What great wide receiver came from there?
Andre Reed.
Correct.
4th and 13. Great time for Wheelahan to the end zone. Flag is thrown. Incomplete.
When a flag is thrown from that part of the field, it's usually pass interference or holding, possibly. It's going to be holding defensively. That's an automatic first down. Ray Crockett doesn't feel like that he was holding anybody, just in good position to make the play.
Holding, number 25, defense. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, late hit, 93, 15-yard penalty. In this case, it'll be half the distance.
All right, let's see what happens right here now. Wheelahan set up out of the shotgun. Ball is delivered. You can't take 2 steps and still hit that quarterback. Even though that was not a vicious hit, 2 steps were taken. They're going to protect the quarterback. Even a fall like that, you never know when you're going to come down and hyperextended elbow or twist your, you know, a wrist get bent back or something like that. They're really watching all year long. They've been doing.
So 1st and 10. Another long drive put together here by San Diego. Handoff to Means. Breaks a tackle of that round. Breaks another tackle inside the 5 and trolling to the 1. Great run by Means. He picks up 11.
Well, I tell you what, you like to see it. Everyone likes to watch a competitor play, even under tough situations like that. Watch the moves he makes. He's making everybody miss. Good blocking, at least giving him a chance to get underway. And then at the end, just a little scoop. Get up there around the 2-yard line. He's really helped this ball club.
He's better now than he was the first time he went with him.
I think he is.
Whelan being chased, throws to Means, breaks a tackle, fumbles the ball. It's his at the 3. The Denver Broncos have gotten Tanavasa.
It's a good call, but Denver was waiting on this call. They've been thrown too many screens, possibly. Wheelahan looks it away. Good job right there of executing the screen. Here's the ball, but look, right behind Means. Everybody is around him. The ball stripped loose.
Romanowski.
Natron Means is not a fumbler. The ball just he got hit quick when he wasn't quite ready to put the ball away. And it resulted in the end of another good drive. That's 2 good drives, though, here in the 4th quarter by San Diego.
Something to build on.
Well, you've got to find something. You can't just walk away and throw your hands in the air. You got the rest of the season to play. You got to get the team ready to go, and this is what you do. You find something positive, you start from there, and you try to take some of the negatives and turn them around as well.
Vaughn Hebron is in a former starter with the Eagles, picks up 2 on just his 7th carry of the season. So it looks like the run of 100-yard gains by Terrell Davis will come to an end today.
Denver at 8-0. Last time anyone was that good, defending their Super Bowl championship before San Francisco back in 1990. And of course the Bears in Super Bowl 20 in 1986.
San Diego's defense held Terrell Davis to a season-low 69 yards. 2nd down 8, Hebron outside. And Steve Tovar makes the stop.
What Denver wants to do right now is grind this thing out. They're going to have to make 2 first downs in order to finish the ball game with this possession. Nash got the ball game. I wanted to see more of him. You remember Mike Shanahan said last night they want to see more of their #1 draft pick in this past year's draft. Marcus Nash, wide receiver, 6'3", 195 pounds, out of Tennessee.
Third down 5 from the 8. Bad snap. Bristol gets it athletically. Loses the ball in the end zone. Recovered by the Chargers. And it's a safety. Raymond Johnson jumped on the ball.
And he was able to gain possession before it went out of the end line. Had he gone out, it would have been back. It's going to be a safety. They got him right here. When this ball slips loose, it's over. Fighting for the ball, 2 points. I think he does have possession before he, maybe not, right on the line. Doesn't matter. It's going to be a 2-point possession. And something else can talk about. The defense didn't let up, kept fighting, clawing, creating points on the defensive side of the ball. Every time you get in that shotgun, you always run the risk. Remember, a shotgun starts with a pass from the center to the quarterback. It's only about a 7-yard throw. But the quarterback has to make a catch, get his eyes down the field. He takes his eyes off of it. If it's not dead on the strike pattern there right in his body, you can lose it like that. Now that's Gary Kubiak right here, the offensive coordinator for Denver. Mike Shanahan told us yesterday that if he knew Gary was going to be around for the next 10 years, he'd be calling the plays. It is a no-brainer. Earlier in the year, Gary against Seattle, Mike Shanahan was having a bad day calling plays, and he benched himself and gave the calling of the plays to Gary Kubiak, and he marched right down the field for a touchdown. He went over and said, "Hey, wait a second, I'm just not that good." But at the end of the ball game, to the media, Mike Shanahan said, "Hey, I benched myself. I was having a bad day, just like players do, and I've got good enough people around that I can hand the ball off to them." I always call my coaches position coaches. I never called them assistant coaches. I felt like that was a subservient kind of a term. Position coaches are experts in their field. They're just as important as any other part of the game.
Here comes a punt from Tom Ruin after the safety by San Diego and the fumble by Bristol. And they blow this one down. We have had more flags and more whistles in this game.
Well, they blew it dead immediately.
Please reset. Game clock, 2 minutes, 23 seconds.
Wow.
Thank you.
They're going to play that over because the game clock wasn't correct. An official on the field keeps the official time. The game clock, of course, has to coincide with that. It's the field official's job to double check. Mike Shanahan wants to know why that wasn't done before they started to play. You got the lead that he has right now. You can have a little chuckle over it and go back to work with 2:23 left on the clock.
So, Ruin again.
Same rules as a kickoff, even though he punched the ball.
And Rashawn up to the 41. Return of 24 yards. Next Sunday on CBS, Bengals will take on the Vikings. Miami will play at Carolina, Seattle, Oakland, and Baltimore, San Diego. Check the game and time in your area.
You know what's happening here? Teams like Carolina, Baltimore, teams that, and even Cincinnati, teams that whose record probably indicates they're not going to the playoffs, are still playing hard, still going after it, working hard during the week. Coaches are saying their players are still studying. It's a 16-round battle, as Mike Shanahan told us.
Wheelahan will throw, caught by Freddie Jones. He's got the first down to the Bronco 47. Darian Gordon makes the tackle. It's a pickup of 11.
That'll take us down to the 2-minute warning as Denver continues to put the ball in the air rather than just run the ball and kill the clock.
2-minute warning.
Enterprise rent a car for my trip? Looks expensive.
It's not expensive, Mom.
They pick us up? Sounds expensive.
Pickup's free, Mom.
Well, if it's not expensive, why didn't I get a convertible?
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
If you went 33 miles up in space, you would hit a rock that is rolling. Old Latrobe, trobing through space. Rocks are rolling. That's where it all comes from. I'm not saying that you're dumb, but it seems obvious to me.
In the financial world, to survive, you must keep on the move. It is not a world for the hesitant or the timid. Sometimes, to defend against larger, fiercer competitors, your best choice is merger or acquisition. But beware, lest your careful, well-planned strategy should result instead in failure or doom. In these troubled waters, experience, knowledge, and size are your best allies. If you're considering strengthening your company through merger or acquisition, think first of First Union. Wherever you plan to go, we have been there before. Come to the mountain called First Union. Or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
If you're a smoker and your sex life is not all it could be or should be, this week's 60 Minutes is one broadcast you can't afford to miss. Tonight.
And with almost all the precincts reporting, we're projecting that Denver is the winner this afternoon. As you can see, there are only 2 precincts left, 2 minutes worth.
First down for San Diego. Freddie Jones got the pass just before the 2-minute warning. Wheelan in for the ineffective lead, throws it low and incomplete. Aiming for Charles Jones. Second down and 10.
And now, after we have declared Denver the winner, they're 9-0. Out in front, 3 ahead of Oakland.
Kansas City is losing 24-6. They've had a record 17 penalties called on the Chiefs today. So Seattle will go to 5-4. And right in the thick of it.
Kansas City has really hit the skids right. You know, Derek Thomas being benched. He's not performing on defense, getting the sacks, had the big start of the season, and then just has absolutely disappeared.
Second down and 10 for Wheelahan. Moves up nicely in the pocket, throws a pass, which ricochets off the palms of Michael Ricks. So you see the Jets one against Buffalo. And Seattle is about ready to beat Kansas City, and the Chiefs will have lost another game, and Seattle will go to 5-4. San Francisco from behind beat Carolina.
Without Steve Young. Of course, Denver playing here without John Elway. Bubby Brooks just have a terrific ball game.
Third down and 10. Wheelahan enters, he throws by Tanabasa. And the pass caught by Freddie Jones. He only picks up 2, which sets up 4th down and 8. St. Louis today beat Chicago. I thought the Bears were turning the corner.
I thought they would win that ball game. Of course, they had quarterback problems as well. Rams having all kinds of problems going into that ball game.
No timeouts. Wheelahan throws incomplete at about the 29. And the receiver, Webster Slaughter, had gone out of bounds and come back inbounds because the official on that side threw his head off and in the foul territory.
He was an ineligible receiver from that point forward. Once you go out of bounds, you can't come back and be the next guy to touch the ball. You can catch a ricochet pass, but you can't be a clean receiver.
Next Saturday, NASDAQ MX College Football puts up regional matchups. Notre Dame against Navy, 11th ranked Arkansas against number 2 Tennessee. It's next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on the NASDAQ MX College Football.
Proud father of a daughter that graduated from Tennessee.
Yes.
Go Vols.
They are undefeated still. Correct?
Yes.
Am I right on that? I think
Oh,
that-
listen, I've got I'm all up to date on that one.
Kansas State is unbeaten. UCLA got a scare last night.
With Ohio State losing yesterday, it's all up in the air as to who 1 and 2 will be playing for the national championship.
No doubt here as the Denver Broncos win their 10th consecutive regular season game dating back to last year. They win their 9th in a row this year. They've won 21 consecutive home games going back to 95. And they've won 14 consecutive games, including the postseason, going back to last season. Impressive.
Very impressive. Of course, they are also winning world championships along the way as well. And that did it right there. That took it right down to 40 seconds. And that will end it. Mike Shanahan going over to congratulate June Jones and the Chargers.
Is 19-0 possible for this team?
It's possible, but let me tell you, it's a tougher job, I think, than when Miami did it. You know, I played in the ball game in Super Bowl VII against Miami. I was playing for the Washington Redskins. Actually, I was on the roster holding extra points. I wasn't really playing. But it's a tougher job right now to do, to win and to finish with a perfect season.
All right, for now, for Sam Weish, Kevin Harlan saying so long from Mile High Stadium. Final score is in as the Broncos prevail 27-10. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Now at Boston Market, take home the chicken America loves for just $5.99. That's right, only $5.99 for a whole Boston Market rotisserie chicken, double marinated and slow roasted. Complete your meal with sides that start at just 99 cents. So tonight, enjoy the chicken America loves for just $5.99. And this holiday season, let Boston Market do the cooking for you. Place your holiday orders for ham, turkey, and all our great sides today. And we guarantee 100% satisfaction or your meal's on us. Only at Boston Market.
Meet Chris Worth, animator. Knows good, knows evil. knows that having a formidable partner is definitely good. Chevy S10, like a rock.
We schedule frequent flights. We go places you want to go. We fly so you can too.
You are now free to move about the country.
PBS Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
The address is CBS. Welcome home.
Yo, man, it's Lisa MD.
Translation. Let's record our favorite songs on minidisc.
Track 5 got no flavor.
Perhaps we should delete this selection.
Man, you guys to flip the spins, yo. Cassettes are hurt.
Unlike cassettes, I can move tracks and re-record digitally up to 1 million times.
Yo, this is illin' like a villain, super macadocious, chilling off the hizzle, no diz out.
I have no idea what he just said.
Sony Minidisc, the digital way to record your music. Available at Soundtrack. Big names, little prices guaranteed.
So, you thought you knew everything about the Sicilian, huh? Well, I got news for you. Now it's in a whole nother league. This is the Supreme Sicilian. This is Ken Griffey giving a baseball a facial. This is enough basil, oregano, and garlic in the crust to drop your carcass to the canvas. This is enough toppings to draw a flag for piling on. This is the Supreme Sicilian Pizza. Just $8.99. But hurry, soon this deal's gonna be gone. Pizza Hut, the best pizzas under one roof.
We're giving away 5 million cans of Pepsi One. Get your can with any medium or large pizza only at Pizza Hut.
When it comes to refinancing, saving money is the name of the game. But if you've had some credit problems, it can be tough to find a lender that's on your side. Well, late payments won't disqualify you at First Plus. They'll help you consolidate your bills, credit cards, and mortgage into one payment. That's less than what you're paying now. Don't let your credit keep you from refinancing. Get back into the game and start saving money with First Plus. Call 1-800-510-PLUS.
Dodge Ram was the first and is still the only full-size pickup to be ranked most appealing by J.D. Power & Associates. It was the first to offer a 10-cylinder engine, and it was the first quad cab. And now, for the first time, we're offering $1,000 back on the truck that changed the rules. But hurry, this is one first that won't last. $1,000 cash back on all new 98 Rams in stock.
Howie, Mommy loves you and I can't wait to come home. Okay, honey. Bye-bye now.
Introducing AT&T Digital One Rate. 50 states, one rate. Never a roaming or long-distance charge. So every call is like a local call.
White residence, Barry speaking.
Talk to me, baby.
Hello? Hello?
And the rate is so low, it can make your wireless phone your only phone.
Is there a case against Patsy Ramsey? Find out tonight at 10.
News 4, the spirit of Colorado. This is News 4 at 5.
John Elway made only a brief appearance in today's Broncos game. He played for one series, then left the game.
Elway pulled a muscle during pregame warm-ups, but even without number 7, the Broncos kept their winning record intact in a big way. Thanks for joining us on News 4 at 5. I'm Amy Spohr.
And I'm Bill Stewart. Bubby Brister started today, and he took over again when Elway left the game. It was another dominating performance by the Broncos. The final score, San Diego 10, the Broncos 27.
Les Shapiro joins us now from Mile High Stadium. Les, what's the latest on John Elway?
Well, Amy, evidently, we find out now he's been fighting this all week long. It might have happened in the Cincinnati game last Sunday. You remember that play where John Elway fell on the football and had to come out for a couple of plays? Well, evidently, he strained some muscles around the rib. He did practice all week long, but he's been fighting the pain all week long. Now, today, Bubby Brister started the game because Elway, during warm-ups, felt it pinching around the rib cage. So he went in to get taped up a little more, came back out, warmed up, went in for one series, got sacked by Junior Seau, and that might have aggravated it some more. He was done for the day after one series, after one completion, after one sack. John Elway, we think, will be day-to-day. We think he'll be playing next Monday night against Kansas City, but we're going to go in the locker room right now and find that out. Guys?
Thank you, Les. John Mobley also tweaked his ankle there late in the game. We'll get an update on him from you a little bit later on. By the way, for the record, Elway is now just 30 yards shy of the 50,000 mark. He completed one pass today, 12-yarder, spent the rest of the game on the sidelines. Let's check out the Broncos and Bolts from Mile High. Elway strained that muscle in his rib cage while warming up before the contest. So Bubby Brister got the start, and on the opening drive, the Bubster does a boo-boo. He's picked off by Rodney Harrison. Very next Bronco possession, Elway gives it a try, and he trips, he falls, followed by a nice love tap from Junior Seau. That didn't feel too hot. Elway off to the locker room to tend to that strained rib cage. Broncos finally get it together late in the first. Bubby, play action. Terrell Davis is wide open. Forget the feet, he scores one with his hands. It's 7-0 Broncos at the end of one. Second quarter, 3rd and long. Bubby to Willie Green. He got it. Yes, he did. The refs disagree, though, and Bubby not too bubbly about the call. They had to settle for a field goal. That made it 10-zip Bronx. Next drive, just give it to the bread and butter. Terrell Davis off to the races. 15, 10, 5, touchdown, TD. You know, as good as Terrell looked, the Chargers held him to a season-low 69 yards. As for crying Ryan Leaf, he had his chances. Guys were open. He just couldn't find them. He threw for 34 yards in this game. Back comes the Bubster. Look at this snag here by Eddie Mack. Please. That's 32 yards of justice. And that play led to this. Not what you call a textbook here. Bubby gets bulldozed. Another field goal makes it 20-0 Broncos at halftime. That was our score. Second half, the Bolts come bearing gifts. Leaf, a perfect strike to Darian Gordon. Gordon's just getting started here. He's on his horsey. He's carrying people with him. He runs it back 36 yards. On the very next play, Bubby scrambles. Bubby rolling. Bubby throwing and finding Eddie Mack. How many sweet snags is this kid gonna make? 27-0 home team at the end of 3. Bolts decide to swap quarterbacks. Here comes the fabulous Craig Wheelahan. He actually moved the football. 3rd and goal. Come and get it. Wheelahan dumps it to Freddie Jones, and not a single Bronco in his path. Bolts get on the board. 2-point conversion made it 27-8. Late in the 4th, little late game hijinks here. Bubby can't control the snap and can't throw the ball. It goes out of the end zone. That is a safety. It's worth 2 points. That was it for the scoring. 27-10 the final game set match. The Broncos improved to 9-0 on the season. Well, the Broncos continue to pad their lead in the AFC West. It's pretty much over at this point. The Broncos lead the second-place Raiders by 3 games. That's because the Silver and Black lost today. Let's go to Baltimore. Legendary Donald Hollis, not quite so legendary. Rod Woodson makes them pay for it. Raiders trailed 13-10, 3 seconds left. Hollis guns one for the end zone. It's caught by the other team. Ravens snap the Raiders' 6-game win streak, 13-10 the final. Take it to Seattle, a big showdown between the Chiefs and Seahawks. Elvis Gerbach recently voted the sexiest athlete by People magazine. He better be sexy because he's sure not accurate. Darren Smith picks it and scores it. Seattle led 24-6 at the half, and the final damage is 24-12. Here's a glance at the standings in the AFC West. Look at the Bronx, 9-0. Oakland right behind him at 6-3. Seattle and Kansas City right there, and the Bolts in the basement. Why don't we take you right back to Mile High Stadium? There's Mike Shanahan at his press conference.
Bubby started the game. When John came out, I wasn't sure how much that pain, the pain threshold was, how bad it was on John. Obviously, it was great because I could see the pain in his face. He went in there, tried to give it his go, but obviously too much pain to play. And John's not here right now. He went home. That just shows you he's still in pain. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be. We'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. But like I said, he took every snap during the week, so it's something that he probably did in pregame warm-up. Well, he's been hurting for the last 3 weeks, but it was nothing serious. You know, after the Seattle game, he's been, he landed on the ball, so it's always been a little bit sore, but must have pulled some cartilage out there or something in that chest area because it was quite painful.
Mike, did he have x-rays?
Yeah, he had x-rays before the game. There was no problem with his ribs or that area. We had a couple x-rays on him just to check it out to make sure that there wasn't anything more serious than sore ribs, and that was negative. John took some painkillers, and, you know, John's a guy that you can't keep him out. But I could see the pain on his face before the game, so I didn't think he's going to really even come back out. And when he did come out.
That's Mike Shanahan. It shows you how frustrated John Elway has become with these nagging injuries. He goes home before the game is over. We'll see how long before he returns to the lineup.
And we'll look for you a little later.
Okay.
Thanks, Vic.
It's cloudy, it's cold out there. Looks like snow's on the way. We'll talk to Larry about that in just a minute.
Here's a winning combination. Blackjack Pizza and the Denver Broncos. Blackjack Pizza, winner of the Rocky Mountain News Pizza Taste Test, is very proud to be the official pizza of the Denver Broncos. For a limited time, call your nearest Blackjack Pizza and ask for the Broncos Special. With any extra large 2-topping pizza, get a free medium cheese pizza delivered to your door for only $10.99. Blackjack Pizza and the Denver Broncos, a winning combination.
So I get this mail from Progressive saying they have a smart new way to shop for auto insurance.
Progressive, can I help you?
They give you their rates plus the rates of several other companies. I wonder whose rates are going to be lowest.
It looks like you could save over $200 if you went with...
What? You're an insurance company?
Hey, we know how hard it is to shop for auto insurance. A lot of times we're the lowest. Sometimes we're not.
That's not what I expected from an insurance company. And then he said, well, maybe you should.
Call 1-800-AUTO-PRO or your authorized independent agent.
With QuadraDrive, the only four-wheel drive system that operates at maximum capability all the time. It's no wonder the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee is one of the safest ways to cross treacherous terrain. The all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most capable sport utility ever. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
There's one statewide newspaper that guarantees to sell your car, your furniture, your stuff. It's the paper with the most employment advertising in the state and more real estate advertising than any other paper in the country. The Denver Post Guaranteed Classifieds, the one paper delivered to homes across the whole state, so there are more buyers for your stuff.
Call 825-2525, the Denver Post Guaranteed Classifieds.
Sell your car with a wheel deal. 3 lines, $29, and we'll run it till it sells.
Landlord. Cable guy.
It's the police. Open up.
Yo quiero Taco Bell. Hey, nacho lovers. Get a massive order of Nachos Bel Grande for just 99 cents when you buy a large drink. That's over $1 off. Better hurry.
No morning snow here in Denver, but it was icy. Slick overpasses caused some big troubles for drivers on I-25 at about 6th Avenue this morning. Denver police reported several accidents because of those icy conditions. But once the sun was up, no problems. Everybody was moving along pretty well.
Nice to see that sun this morning, but it didn't last very long.
No, it didn't. We had an inversion around here again today and trapped a little pollutant next to the ground. Just kind of grungy weather. Not exactly that Chamber of Commerce weather around here. And probably not tomorrow morning. It looks like we'll have some snow around here.
A little more, huh?
Today in Denver it was 43 for a high, 42 out at the airport, 26 and 24 were the overnight lows. It's currently 40 downtown and 36 at the airport with a northeast wind at 6 miles per hour. The humidity's creeping up there. It's at 89% and the pressure 2970 low, but it's rising right now. And around the region, Colorado Springs was about 36 degrees, and of course Denver reported at 40 degrees. Let's take a look now at what's happening around our area at this time. And here's NexRad. Out on the plains, we have mostly clear skies. Down to the south, Pueblo, just to the west of them, picking up the precipitation, and a big pattern over western Colorado. Generally, the snow level is about 8,500 feet. Below that, a little bit of rain going on. But up in the higher elevations, they're going to expect a lot of snow. Big area for snow tonight will be the eastern sections of the San Juans. They could get a foot and a half of snow out of all of this. Down to the southwest of them, 4 to 8 inches of snow. And that goes for most of the mountain regions that are other than the San Juans. 4 to 8 inches of snow. Then we get down into the foothills, 3 to 6 inches of snow. That would include areas just to the west of Denver. And then Denver and the I-25 corridor, anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of snow likely, and that should begin probably after midnight. Nighttime lows will drop into the 20s east and west, maybe some 30s left over in the west. Higher elevations will be in the teens and 20s for their overnight lows, and expect snow and blowing snow up there. Tomorrow, we'll have some clearing coming in from the west, but we'll start the day with a pretty good chance for some snow, mountains and east tomorrow. Tomorrow, the highs will be in the 30s and low 40s west, 20s for the mountains, and out on the plains, temperatures will be in the 30s and in the 40s. It looks like it's going to be one of those days around here as far as rush hour is concerned. Could be rough. Get up about 30 minutes early tomorrow. Take a look outside and see how you're going to have to adjust your driving habits for tomorrow. Here's Denver's 5-day forecast now. For tonight, snow will develop around here probably around midnight or a little later. 26 degrees will be the low. Then we could get a blast of snow that could last right through the rush hour tomorrow morning. 40 degrees for a high with some clearing in the afternoon. And here's the rest of the 5-day forecast. Tuesday, a high of about 47 degrees with clear to partly cloudy skies. Wednesday will be the nice day this week with 52. It's Thursday that we have a slight chance for some more snow coming back in here, and then Friday back up to a 50. Generally, all week long, we're going to have temperatures staying way below normal for this time of the year.
Looks like sort of a combination package this week.
Get a little of everything.
Yeah, thanks, Larry.
All right.
The oldest man to travel in space is getting used to gravity again.
77-year-old astronaut John Glenn and the rest of the Space Shuttle crew were welcomed home today by a large crowd in Houston. The astronauts said they were overwhelmed by the number of people who turned out to greet them. Glenn says in the future he hopes each space flight will get the same kind of interest and attention that this one did. NASA will be keeping him busy for a while with